Hi, everybody. I'm Ann Moratto. I'm the brand content director for Modern Salon, and I am so happy to be talking today to Sacha Quarles. Sacha is a hairstylist for stage, television, film, editorial, and red carpet. If anybody deserves the moniker celebrity stylist, Sacha absolutely does. I can say it, he won't say it. He was also the key hairstylist for a little television show you might have heard of, Sex and the City. And his personal client list includes some of the biggest names in Hollywood: Colin Farrell, Robert DeNiro, Tom Hanks, Catherine Zeta Jones. I'm just naming a few. And today, he is bringing his years of experience, his expertise, to his role as executive artistic director for SheHairPRO Extensions. And today I'm really excited because Sacha was a panelist and a speaker at our Modern Salon Independent Boot Camp. And we can't really dive in deep, in these short panel segments, but we're going to talk a little bit today about growing your business, your service, growing your service offerings, you're growing your average ticket, growing your wealth with extensions. But first, Sacha, I just want to ask you to share a little bit of your beauty bio, expand a little bit upon what I already said.
Oh my God, you did it so well, though. I hate to
And I
take
know it
away
was
from
very good, wasn't it?
that was perfect. Beauty bio. Yeah, I mean, I started with wigs on the New York City Opera. Moved into Broadway shows, did that for years, learning wigs because I knew if I got into movies, I had to be an expert or what they call a wig master to be able to lay lace on film. So that's a very different thing from stage to film. So I did that, and then I got really good at that, and then I started doing day work and doing movies, and to the point where I ended up getting a great show like Sex and the City, and then I moved on and started doing bigger movies. I did Men in Black 3, Gangster Squad with Ryan Gosling and Josh Brolin. I mean, I was movie after movie after. I got really lucky. I was just working, working, and working, and it was awesome. And then this took me and expanded my horizons with beauty brands. And I moved into being a spokesman for multiple companies and ended up on QVC, which was completely terrifying and scary being in front of the camera. But I did it. And I do love being behind the camera and taking care of people more than I like being
Being in front
that
of it.
face, but it was still fun and learning. I learned a lot. And now I was a spokesman for the hair extension company that I'm now the artistic director for. And it's been such an amazing path because I learned that I wanted to do more than just celebrities. I wanted to do more than just be behind the chair. I still do hair behind the chair. I still go do extensions for movie stars and movies and help develop characters, which is awesome. I have a movie coming out in a few months called Blue Beetle. With I did the extensions on two of the leads, George Lopez and Bruna Marquezine. It's a big DC Latin superhero movie, so I'm excited about that. And so I'm still working, but I'm also doing business. So all of us hairstylists now, we're not just hairstylists anymore. We're business owners. We're business entrepreneurs. So I have went to another level with it, from my career, from what I was doing it. And I think we're all doing that now. We're all taking it to the next level because we're now marketers, we're business owners, we're paying bills, we're talking to accountants, we're doing QuickBooks. So it's
True.
a new world. So I'm diversifying like everyone else is. So it's really cool and mind expanding.
Well, I love that you mentioned diversifying because that sort of leads into the next question. I've heard this story and I just love it about how you realized you needed to become really good at extensions. Would you share that a little bit about how you got interested in it?
Absolutely. All my motivations as a younger stylist or a younger person were from learning about the financial situations in different career opportunities. And I started working in production. And the thing about working in production um, is the fact that I got to see the budgeting situations for hair, makeup, wardrobe, production design, props, everything. And I had already done sculpting in college and I really loved it. That was one of my favorite things was the art situation there. That being said, I saw what hair and makeup people were making, and it was amazing amounts of money in the film industry. So I literally was like, wait a second, maybe I can go back to beauty school and get something going here, because I really like the idea of the cutting and all that stuff and styling. So my mother was already doing it, and I've been around the salon my whole life. So, and movies, because my mom went from salon to movies as well. So that motivated me, the financials. And the same thing happened with extensions. I was paying extension artists to come do my movie stars $8,000 to $10,000 a head. And I was like, wait a second here. We pay how much? And you get how much? And I'm like, I can do this. I said, I'm going to go take a class. So that every time I learned something about what direction I wanted to go in, I knew I needed the knowledge to be the best at it so that I could be paid the most for it. So I went and took 3 different extension classes and became very good at it and sought after for it and was making huge money for it. So that being said, it just kept giving me more options and diversification in my career to make a better living.
That's so great.
And that's how it all kind of came about.
And that's what you're doing now, really. I mean, you're kind of preaching that to the industry. So let's talk a little bit about being in the salon. How do you talk to stylists who have a nice clientele already? How can they turn an existing client into an extension client?
Well, the exciting thing about extensions, and I learned this as I've been in this, because my career was different. We were creating characters. We were doing it to create hair. Yes, may it be relatable, but more accentuated and more beautiful than the normal person. Because movie stars want to be, oh my God, even though it's still kind of, may it be just messy, but it's, look how voluminous her hair is. Oh my God, look how gorgeous. It always is still gorgeous. So with that being said, the extension industry was more super wealthy and celebrity driven early on. Then it became, with all of the exposure to extensions, with reality television and everyone who was wearing them, it became more mainstream. It wasn't, oh my God, you're wearing you're wearing extensions? It was, oh my God, girl, whose extensions are you wearing? Because it got exciting. And that's given everyone in the salon industry, in my opinion, the opportunity to get a taste of that money, because it's there for them. They just have to diversify into it and be good or do well at starting the conversation. Because your clients, everyone wants something more. I trained with Vidal Sassoon and learned how to get great haircuts. But until and people would be, oh my God, my hair moves so beautifully, and this, that, and the other, I'd be like, yeah, it's a great haircut. But when I added just a minimal amount of hair extensions, that isn't that expensive, really, when you just do minimal amounts, it gives an opportunity for the most beautiful haircut and hair they've ever had. I'm creating density that they haven't had since they were in high school and college. And it's like, these girls are like, oh my God, you give me great haircuts, but the transformation to make people feel that good about themselves with extensions, the possibilities are endless. So that's the huge part.
Yes, absolutely. And we talk. There's a lot of talk in the industry about being a 6-figure hairdresser. Well, let's talk about being a 7-figure hairdresser. The sky's the limit. But how can offering extensions help you get to that goal?
Well, that's the thing. Extensions, if you break it down, extensions break into 2 categories. You're either lengthening the hair or you're volumizing the hair. You can fix bad haircuts with them. You can help people that are impatient to grow it out, because extensions, in my opinion, if you do them well and in a healthy way, you can grow hair with extensions, no question. So I think that's a home run. Most women, unfortunately, are missing a little hair in certain areas, usually the sides. I could add 10 pieces on each side and create a beautiful weight line, the density that they want at the bottom. It's amazing. And these little processes can also have highlights that their hair can't handle with color. So it's chemical-free color, which is another amazing thing. And at the same time is making more money than any other service in the salon because of extensions, it's it's just a game changer. So I would have to say the best way to do it is start the conversation, with your clients that you have in your chair already. They're going to listen to you. They already trust your expertise. They already trust you as a stylist. And the fact that with the new modern experiences of extensions, they're not damaging like they used to be. We have a very low heat at SheHair Extensions, so it's much less damaging. It's not damaging at all if it's done correctly, which is the best part. And with 170 colors, you can be a chemical-free colorist right away, just putting in those beautiful money pieces around the face that aren't damaging to their own hair. So it's a lot of options. I like to say, if you really want to break it down, think about $100,000. That's six figures. $100,000 a year. That's if you take 2 weeks off a year, which you should because you deserve it. You guys work hard behind the chair. We all want that little time off to recharge. So that's 50 weeks. So at 50 weeks, you're making that's $2,000 a week you have to make to be a six-figure stylist minimum. So at that situation, if you're doing a full head of extensions, which is usually averaging around $1,500 to $2,000 a head, depending on the amount of hair you're putting in the person. So with that, there's a markup. So you should hopefully be making at least $1,000 a client for that. So that's 2 clients a week and you're already doing your colors, your cuts, your chemical straightenings. So that's just for just extensions alone doing it. It's two clients a week. Now, my personal favorite situation for extensions and the easiest way to make it workable for anybody's budget is small work. And the small work is anywhere from 10 pieces of hair added to the situation of their experience, or 50 to 60 pieces of hair. Now, you could be doing in an hour anywhere from $300 to $700. Now, you do 3 or 4 of those a week, you're at your $2,000. So that's 2.5 hours of your week alone. So you should be well above 6 figures after you have become an expert at using hair extensions. So that's why it just became this light bulb. 2 things: money, extra money in your pocket, and living a better life is a beautiful thing. And number 2, you get to change people's experience of living and how they feel about themselves with their hair. So that, to me, the transformation experience and their happiness is enough payment. Of course, it's a beautiful thing, but it doesn't suck making a lot of extra money and being able to secure yourself with a bank account. I had a client from one of your boot camps. She was amazing. And in this, she put into my mind an understanding of what it takes to be an expert at extensions. And she had taken 3 other extension courses. She was at one of the first boot camps I showed up for you guys. It was in Florida. And she came in and I said, we're actually doing a class in a week, not too far from here, if you want to come. And she was like, oh, I've taken 3 other classes. I know about this extension thing and da-da-da-da. And I was like, trust me when I tell you, I do it different than most companies. I said, the class I'm offering is a keratin focus class. We are not doing 5 methods in a day or in 2 days. It really helps you understand every aspect of doing extensions, from the color matching to the bond placement to cutting to how to charge for them, every aspect. And we're going to work and get your mechanics so beautiful and perfect that you're going to make invisible bonds where these people are going to feel like the hair is growing out of their head. And she was like, okay, maybe, and she came and took the class. She rocked it. It took her a while to get her head around the process of how I do it, because she had taken multiple other ways of doing it. So she had to relearn what we did. But she would send me every day for like 5 days after the class. She kept practicing and send me Zoom and video feeds of what she was doing and what was right or what was wrong. And she literally blew my mind with the quality of her work. And then instead of sending me videos of her work, she started sending me little pictures of her end of day credit card things, and she was making $3,000 in a day. And she's like, I've never made $3,000. She's an independent stylist on her own. She's like, and I'm like, dang girl. And she's like, no, dang boy,
Good
I have a
for
bank account.
her.
Yeah, no, seriously. So it was so inspiring and exciting to know and see it working. And that's what made me really happy and blew my mind.
I love that. Let's talk more about the education because let's talk, and then I'm going to ask you about the options that SheHair offers, but keep going about
Absolutely.
the education. So for stylists who are interested in learning how to use SheHair extensions, what does the education look like?
Well, it's totally what I've mostly focused on is keratin focused extension classes.
Okay.
Why is tape-ins, in my opinion, you and most companies are teaching them online. Do I believe in the online classes? They're possible for certain things. WEFs, sometimes it can help. I think education online is more reinforcement education than it is learning it in the first place on a real head, just because of where your hands need to be to do it in a healthy way. It needs to be a natural fall. It needs to be, your hand has to be against the head, controlling where the hair comes from the head. So it looks like it's literally growing from the head. And that's what the excitement about keratin is. It is the most natural experience of hair that you can put on someone's head because there's a 360 mobility. For me, and coming from the movie world, we had to be able to style the hair like it literally was growing from the head. I couldn't have anything restricting a tape in that can kind of restrict how the hair can be put up, or a weft controlling the look and how it can be visible sometimes if there's in a certain way, half up, half down, or whatever. So with what I teach what it would be to do a high definition camera shooting that actor. So I teach it the same way because you want these girls. If my girl's in a yoga class that I did extensions on, she could be upside down behind you, downward dog, and you would see nothing. I do invisible bonds. So in other words, I'm wrapping their own hair around the bond so that it literally roots and is the color of their own hair, the bonds that they have in their head. So there's never visibility. So it is that different than most companies. The reason we can do the hair where we wrap their own hair is we heat at a very low heat, under 280 degrees. It's very cool compared to what people iron and do in most companies. Usually the heat is around in the upper 400s to low 500s to melt the keratin. Ours just makes the keratin malleable where it just can be wrapped. So it's pretty cool. It's a very different experience. So I'm excited to show that. I'm excited to show how to cut it because cutting extensions is a very different game when it comes to the realism. Everything's about realism. Multi-tonal work, 2 to 3 colors minimum when it comes to how we color match someone's hair, and we teach to color match because the more multi-tonal experience it is, the more realistic it looks. The better it's cut we're creating regrowth, because if you know when hair grows out, it grows out in different lengths because you lose hair every day. So that all that little regrowth that you cut into it with scissors makes it look like it's growing from the head. So we get into all of those things that really create a realistic extension experience for your clients.
Wow. And what are the offerings from SheHair? What are the what are the different options that the
What
stylist might work with? You mentioned the keratin.
the keratin, well, are the different types of extensions that our company specializes in is keratin, of course. We are the king of keratin. We have over 170 colors. We have 3 different textures, curly, wavy, and straight. We have 4 different lengths, short, medium, long, and extra, extra long, all the way to 27, 28 inches. We have tape-ins. Those come in 3 different lengths. Those come in 2 different textures. And we have wefts that come in a ton of colors. And all of our hair extensions come in rooted, balayage, ombre, 3-color ombre, and 2-color ombre. We really have more colors than anyone. I mean, I have 170 different tones. If I can't get close to your client's hair color, I don't think anybody can. So that I know. I mean, we have the most genius color maker in the world when it comes to extensions. He
Wow.
just is Gargamel with a chemistry kit, just making it happen. So
I love that. So Sasha, well, first of all, I'm so glad you could make time to talk to me today. But if somebody, and I think there's a lot of people who maybe are going to want a little more information, they're going to want to be able to get in touch with you. How should they do it? How can they reach you?
Um,
How should they reach She Hair Pro?
they can reach us at info@shehairpro.com.
Okay,
They can reach my office at 818-843-1163. They can find me on Instagram at Sacha Quarles. It's like the at symbol at Sacha Quarles, SACHAQUARLES. And you will see
great.
a picture of me wearing a very nice suit. It'll be very, it's a very nice outfit. I put it together myself. And another, you can also find us at SheHairPRO on Instagram as well. And send us a note. I will get back to you. It might take me 24 hours, but I get back to everybody. I still have people from our boot camps that I didn't even teach that are reaching out for mentorship on other levels because I like to get into everything. I mean, I'm here as
Mm.
a kind of like a mentor, been there, done that hair guy that I'm more than happy to talk to you about photo shoots or movies or in the industry or what your life can be if this is something you're interested in. So I always love breaking it down. I have no problem with that as well. So even if you're not interested in extensions, I love to talk about hair. I'm a hair nerd.
You
So
are.
I'm always down.
Thank you, Sasha. Thank you so much for your time and nerding out with us today. It was
Absolutely. I'll
really
nerd out
fun.
anytime. You know, I like that.
Thanks,
And
Sasha.
remember, one thing I want to say,
Yeah.
you can make a lot of money in our industry. But it's something I always say to everybody in the classes, when you make this money, wealth seems to be the thing everyone's talking about. But the most important thing I can say about wealth, and it's something that I learned from my mom, who is just so smart with money and really just brilliant that way. And she always kind of focused me on the fact of wealth is not what you make, it's what you keep. So it really is. I have friends of mine that make $3 million a year and they live month to month. I have friends of mine that make $80,000 a year and have more money in the bank than my friends that make $3 million a month or a
Yeah.
year. So I just want to say that to you guys. The best thing as artists and now business owners and entrepreneurs is to always secure yourself financially because it protects you for the future and today. Because there might be people you don't want to do their hair. There might be, you don't want to put yourself in a situation of desperation when we're working in this industry. We
Mm.
want to keep our prices at the right level. We want to always cream rises to the top and know your worth and make your money and keep your money and be secure with it. And I will say it's just so important because it's what allowed me to invest in an extension company because I saved my money and took care of my financials and made sure I always had extra money. I was able to make investments to better my later life and create passive income and diversify, like we talked about earlier. And this is what they can do if they really think about these things early on. Because you guys, if you're young, start putting it back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, more than all of us.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah. And they can also do what you're doing as well, Sasha, which is give back. I mean, really,
Absolutely.
you are mentoring a generation and not just like you said, not just on extensions. So thank you for
No, it's
that too.
everything. And that's what we want to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, thank you.
Thank
No, thank
you.
you for allowing me the platform to do it. I mean,
Thank you.
it means a lot.
Yeah,
So
it's been a pleasure and thanks so much.
awesome. Thank you, love. Have a
Bye-bye.
great day.
You too.